The ancient skull relic was uncovered. It bowed instantly as the human walked in. The dig site on planet Veritas 9 buzzed with excitement. 12 different alien species worked together under bright artificial lights. They had been digging for 3 months, and today they finally found something incredible. Dr. Telvin adjusted his 6 eyes to see better. He was an Etherian, with a body like a large insect covered in shimmering blue scales. His antennae twitched with excitement as he brushed dust away from the object buried in the ancient stone. "Commander Zira, come quickly," he called out. Commander Zira rushed over. She was a Kryn warrior, tall and powerful with green reptilian skin and sharp amber eyes. Her tail swished behind her as she moved through the crowded tent. "What did you find, Doctor?" she asked. Dr. Telvin stepped back to reveal their discovery. A skull made of crystal sat in the ground, glowing with soft light. Strange symbols covered its surface, moving and shifting like living things. The skull was massive, twice the size of any species they knew. "It's the skull of Kathara," Dr. Telvin whispered. The legends were true. This relic is 50,000 years old. It belonged to the predecessors. The predecessors were a mysterious civilization that vanished long before any current species reached the stars. They left behind ruins and questions, but never answers. "Is it safe?" Zira asked, her hand resting on her plasma weapon. "The scanners show no danger, Doctor." Telvin replied, "But we should be careful. We know nothing about predecessor technology. It should have died thousands of years ago, yet it still functions. This changes everything we know about the predecessors. We have been waiting 3 days. I need a signature for this delivery, and I need it now. I have 3 more stops today. Council regulations. Also, your payment is 2 weeks late. My fuel costs keep going up, and I cannot keep making deliveries on credit. This is the most important archaeological discovery in centuries." But when she entered the excavation chamber, something changed. The skull suddenly blazed with brilliant blue light. Its empty eye sockets glowed like twin stars. Then slowly, the massive crystal skull tilted forward as if bowing to someone. Every instrument in the tent started beeping wildly. Scanners overloaded. Data pads flickered and died. The lights in the tent surged bright, then dimmed. Dr. Telvin stumbled backward. "What is happening?" "The energy output just increased by 3,000%. The skull is activating." It simply stayed tilted forward, its glow focused in one direction. Every being in the tent slowly turned to look at the same spot. Elena stood frozen at the entrance, her data pad hanging forgotten in her hand. The blue light from the skull washed over her. "Why is it doing that?" she asked quietly. Dr. Telvin's mandibles clicked together nervously. "It has never responded before. We have had researchers from every major species examine it. Nothing. No reaction at all." Could it be her equipment? Some interference from her ship? The symbols on its surface spun faster, creating patterns that hurt to look at directly. Elena took a step back. "I think I should leave. The skull has been dormant for millennia. The moment you walked in, it activated and bowed. The predecessors vanished 50,000 years before humans even existed. Nothing in her life prepared her for this moment. I do not understand," she said. "What does it want from me?" Inheritor recognized, bloodline confirmed, access granted. Alarms blared as security systems activated. Commander Zira barked orders into her communication device, calling for backup. Elena stood perfectly still, afraid to move. The skull continued glowing, its light now forming a gentle beam that connected to her forehead. It felt warm, not painful, but strange. "Everyone calm down," Dr. Telvin commanded, his voice cutting through the noise. "We must document this scientifically. Captain Rodriguez, please do not move yet." Zira spoke into her communicator. "This is Commander Zira. Lock down the dig site. No ships enter or leave without my authorization, and get the Council on secured channels immediately. They did not point their weapons at Alina, but their presence made everything feel more serious. Dr. Telvin approached slowly, holding a scanner. Captain Rodriguez, may I come closer? I promise you are not in danger. At least not from us. If that skull recognizes you as an inheritor, you become the most valuable person in known space. He waved his scanner over her. Fascinating. Your genetic markers are lighting up my instruments like nothing I have seen before. Captain, do you know anything unusual about your family history? I never knew my biological parents. The records said they died when I was a baby. That is all. Humans evolved on Earth, isolated from galactic contact. Unless humans are predecessors. I agree with you. Then images of beings appeared, tall figures with features that looked almost human but not quite. Alina gasped. Those look like people from Earth's ancient myths, the old gods from different cultures. Now they showed scenes of a great civilization building massive structures across the galaxy. Then war, planets burning, ships fleeing in every direction. They are showing us their history, Dr. Telvin breathed. The predecessors faced destruction. They scattered. Words appeared in the holographic display, floating in the air for everyone to read. What vault? May I touch it? Information flooded into her mind, memories that were not hers, knowledge she should not possess, and a deep sadness that made her want to weep. She saw the truth. The predecessors did not vanish. They chose to scatter their genetic code across 100 worlds, hoping their descendants would evolve naturally and rediscover their heritage only when ready. Earth received the strongest concentration of their genetic material. Humans carried the most direct lineage. But other species had traces too. The Etherians, the Kryn, the Vaxians, all had tiny fragments of predecessor DNA mixed into their biology. When Alina pulled her hand away, tears ran down her face. They were afraid, she whispered. They had too much power and it destroyed them. They did not want their children to make the same mistakes, so they hid everything and started over. What did you see, Captain? A countdown appeared. Journey to the vault, pass the trials, claim the inheritance or reject it, but you must choose. The clock is running. Captain Rodriguez, it seems you must go on a journey, and we have less than 3 days before this entire star system gets destroyed. 3 days to find a hidden vault on an alien planet, pass unknown trials, and somehow decide the fate of billions of beings. I fly cargo ships, she said weakly. I am not a hero. But right now, you are our only hope. 71 hours, 23 minutes. It helps with stress. I thought you might need some. They want us to help you reach the vault. She wore full combat armor now, with weapons strapped to her belt and back. We leave in 1 hour. I am bringing 4 of my best soldiers. The skull provided coordinates, but the location is in the Crystal Barrens, the most dangerous region on this planet. I appreciate the help, but why are you doing this? You could evacuate and leave me to handle this alone. If this system gets destroyed, they die too. I doubt they would design a test that requires complete isolation. Besides, you need us. The Crystal Barrens are filled with dangerous creatures and extreme weather. The Dominion Fleet, the Consortium, and the Ascendancy, they all received news about the skull. The Dominion must have intercepted our communications. We need to take it with us. Telvin studied maps on his data pad while Zira sat up front with the driver. 4 Kryn soldiers accompanied them, their weapons ready. They had warned Alina that the Crystal Barrens earned their reputation through danger, not beauty. The coordinates point to a mountain range 300 kilometers away, Dr. Telvin explained. But the direct route crosses territories claimed by razor-wing predators. They hunt anything that moves. Green vegetation gave way to purple crystal formations that jutted from the ground like enormous knives. The crystals hummed with strange energy, making Alina's teeth ache. Suddenly, the transport lurched to a stop. The driver pointed at the sky. "Commander, we have company. It is rougher but provides cover. Will this get us to the vault?" A holographic arrow appeared in the air, pointing left at an upcoming fork in the canyon. "Or perhaps we will not get lost," Dr. Telvin said with wonder. "The skull is guiding us." The crystal walls glowed with natural light, casting strange shadows. Alina noticed ancient carvings on some walls, symbols that matched the ones on the skull. "The predecessors were here," she said, pointing at the carvings. This was their path. The driver accelerated as another blast echoed through the narrow space. "The Dominion found us," one of the soldiers shouted. "They are trying to collapse the canyon. We cannot outrun their ships." A voice boomed from speakers on the lead shuttle. "Attention transport vehicle. Surrender the human and the relic immediately. You have 30 seconds to comply. Alina needs to reach the vault." "I have an idea," Alina said suddenly. "Dr. Telvin, can you activate the skull's communication system?" The weapons dissolved into streams of golden light that flowed upward through the mountain and vanished into space. The destructive technology was gone forever, unmade by the same power that created it. Alina stood in the center of the chamber, exhausted but relieved. The skull in her hands began to crack, thin lines of light spreading across its crystal surface. "It is breaking apart," Dr. Telvin said with alarm. "No," Alina replied softly. "It is completing its purpose. Watch." But instead of falling to the ground, each piece floated into the air and drifted toward different members of their group. One fragment settled gently into Dr. Telvin's hand. Another touched Zira's armored chest and merged with her. The remaining pieces scattered throughout the vault, seeking out every being present. "What is happening?" Zira asked, staring at the spot where the fragment had touched her. "The inheritance is being shared," Alina explained. The predecessors did not want one person to carry everything. They wanted all their descendants to inherit together. But now, instead of requiring Alina's genetic code to access them, the systems responded to anyone who approached with good intentions. A loud crash echoed from the vault entrance. The Dominion soldiers had finally broken through the outer door. Commander Vrel stormed in with 50 armed troops, followed by consortium executives in expensive suits and ascendancy priests in flowing robes. They stopped dead, staring at the transformed chamber. "What have you done?" Vrel demanded, his weapon raised. "I opened the inheritance," Alina said calmly, "and then I gave it away to everyone. Every scientific database, every medical facility, every university is receiving complete archives right now. The knowledge is free for all species to use. Unencrypted, completely open. That was the test. Would I choose power or would I choose trust? You gave up ultimate power to save us all. My orders were to secure the technology for the Dominion, but there is nothing left to secure." He looked at his soldiers. "Stand down. We have no reason to fight. We cannot profit from technology that is freely available, but perhaps we can profit from helping distribute it." He looked at Alina. "Your decision just changed the entire galactic economy. Maybe now fewer people will go hungry while others hoard wealth. The medical and environmental technology you just released might save us. My people owe you a debt we can never repay." Telvin approached, his antennae quivering with excitement. "Captain Rodriguez, the Galactic Archaeological Council wants to establish a new organization, the Heritage Institute. Its purpose will be to study how all our species connect to the predecessors and to help distribute this new knowledge responsibly. They are asking if you will join as an honorary founder." "That is what I am good at. Politics and leadership are not for me. I just demonstrated that real leaders know when to give power away instead of keeping it. Medical facilities cured diseases that had plagued species for generations. The Kryn homeworld received environmental stabilizers that would extend their sun's life by thousands of years. Dying planets bloomed with new vegetation. Clean energy replaced polluting systems across 100 worlds. But more importantly, species that had been enemies for centuries began talking to each other. The shared heritage revealed by the predecessors gave them common ground. Research teams formed with members from multiple civilizations, working together on projects that benefited everyone. There were challenges, of course. Some governments tried to restrict access to the technology. Some corporations attempted to patent the ancient knowledge. But the information was too widespread, too freely available. For once, greed could not win. 6 months after the vault opened, Alina delivered supplies to a joint research station orbiting Veritas 9. Dr. Telvin had become the director of the Heritage Institute, which now employed thousands of scientists from dozens of species. He met Alina at the docking bay, his antennae waving cheerfully. "Captain Rodriguez, wonderful to see you. I have something for you. You chose trust over power, wisdom over control. That took tremendous courage. I just opened the package. 3 more deliveries today, medical supplies to a colony world, building materials to a new joint research facility, and food shipments to a refugee station. Simple work. Honest work. The kind of work that actually helped people." As her ship lifted off from the station, she looked at the stars with new understanding. The predecessors had scattered themselves across the galaxy, hoping their children would learn to work together. It had taken 50,000 years, but finally, that hope was becoming reality. The crystal fragment on her dashboard pulsed once with gentle light, as if agreeing with her thoughts. Alina smiled and set course for her next delivery. The galaxy had changed, but she had not. She was still just a pilot, moving goods from place to place. And that was exactly how she wanted it.